Hey everyone, I'm Jon Jordan, your host for the show, and the theater manager here at the Albert and Eunice Boscov Theater, conveniently located on the first floor of GoggleWorks Center for the Arts, right here in beautiful downtown Reading, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the June 2025 episode of At the Movies. If you're a movie lover here in the greater Reading area, this program is for you. We'll keep you up to date with some of the coolest local movie theaters, offering some of the coolest programming. From new release indie titles to major blockbusters on the biggest screens around. Local film premieres, annual film festivals, and unique cinematic experiences you aren't likely to find anywhere else. We'll take you behind the scenes at some of your favorite local movie theaters, showing you a side of them you've likely never seen before. And, hopefully, we'll introduce you to some new theaters you haven't visited yet. This month on the show, we're going behind the scenes at one of our favorite local movie theaters. We'll talk about its history, its typical programming, and everything that makes it unique. Then, we'll take a look at the month of movies ahead at all of our friendly neighborhood theaters, including the Boscov Theater, and Reading Movies 11 and IMAX here in Reading, the Colonial Theatre in Phoenixville, the Emmaus Theatre in Emmaus, Shankweiler's Drive-In in Orefield, and the Mahoning Drive-In in Lehighton. So grab your popcorn and sit back. At the Movies starts right now.
My name is Bob Trate. I'm the Director of Programming at the Colonial Theatre in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Typical programming here at the Colonial Theatre runs a variety of films, live acts, music acts, concerts. We also do a little bit of live theater where we partner with local organizations. As far as our films go, we run classic movies every Sunday. Generally, the movie's about 40 years old. That's considered a classic now. We do have a brand new film, a new release, usually a big budget film, and then we try to run as many smaller independent films that we can acquire. Sometimes it's a one night only, sometimes it's scattered throughout the week. But generally our programming is a wide variety of a sampling of the arts. So if you're looking for, you want to watch a horror movie, you want to watch a film noir, you want to watch a classic movie from the 30s, or just want to watch the newest release like Beetlejuice or Barbie or Oppenheimer, we tend to run those films as well. What we sell at our concession stand is we actually have alcohol, we have wine, we have beer. We do a couple of local beers. We do have Sly Fox, that is a local brewery. And we do have a couple of unique drinks to the area that are not alcoholic. And as far as concession goes, we offer nachos, we have slushies. We do slushies that have a little extra kick to them for the adults. And we try to theme those around our different programming. So right now we have a green and a pink slushie for Wicked. Here at the Colonial Theatre, we have 3 screens. We have our original 1903 theater, which seats 592 patrons. That's the theater that's actually seen in the block. The theater that I'm sitting in right now is our Barry Theater. It seats 61, and our White Rabbit Theater seats 154. Each theater is unique, it's different, but what sets the 1903 theater apart from many theaters in the country is that we have a Wurlitzer pipe organ, and we do have live shows of just music, but we also do silent films and a silent film festival. We also have a 35 millimeter projector. So we are one theater in 17 in Pennsylvania that can actually project 35 millimeter. So we have a 24-hour 35 millimeter horror-thon. We also have an exploitation fest where it's all exploitation films for 12 straight hours, all on film. And we generally run most of our horror programming on 35 millimeter. Now, there are times where it's only available on 35, and that creates an interesting opportunity for us to showcase movies like Sleepy Hollow or Gremlins 2 or That Thing You Do, because you can only get those on 35 millimeter. The 1903 theater is named after when the building was built. Now, some say it's 1902, but there was a big fire, so we don't actually know. So the keystone outside says 1903. The White Rabbit is named after a donator. They wanted to name the theater the White Rabbit Theater, even though it's blue. And the Berry Theater is named after the Berry family, even though it's red. So that one kind of works out. That's how they get their names. Our projection rooms here at the Colonial Theatre are very separate. We have 3 different ones. The theater I'm sitting in now has a 2K projector, but the room is so small and so condensed that it really has a vibrant picture, and the sound down here is amazing. But our projection room is literally right over my shoulder. Not very fancy at all, just a lot of computers and hard drives. In Theater 2, we also have a 2K projector, and that's a little bit of a more interesting room because we actually have a Laserdisc player that we're setting up for Laserdisc shows now, and it's a little bit more of a Swiss Army knife where we can kind of move things around and try different things. So we can plug in a MacBook and run a filmmaker's film that way if need be. And we do 16 millimeter in the theater that I'm sitting in now, which is great, but we're actually looking at doing 16 millimeter up there as well, because the throw, which is how far the projector has to put it up on screen, isn't that far. However, in our projection room in the 1903 theater, we have the original 35 millimeter projectors from the block. Now they've been, rebuilt pieces, but they are in the exact locations that they were before. We have a 2K projector up there, and we're actually having a campaign right now to raise money for a 4K projector, so that we can actually start projecting a lot of the Janus films and restorations in 4K so that they actually look as good as possible. That room up there is a Frankenstein room of old tech, new tech, wires running everywhere, 35 millimeter cans sitting around. It's very, very different. It's the room everybody wants to see. Everything here looks like a closet with hard drives. Theater 2 and Theater 3, but Theater 1 is definitely a throwback to another time. So the history of the Colonial Theatre is it's interesting, it's long, and unfortunately there are lots of big gaps in our history because we currently are a non-profit theater. So when we were a for-profit theater, a lot of those records don't get passed. And unfortunately too, there was also a giant fire where a lot of records, not in our organization, but in the county, were destroyed, newspapers and those kind of things. So I can tell you that construction began in 1902. The theater opened in 1903 as a vaudeville theater. Sometime around 1908, we had our first film. And then by 1915, we had our first talkie. And that was a movie with sound. So to jump, we do have like the war years and World War II. We were a full theater. There were actually 3 theaters in Phoenixville during World War II. We are the last theater standing. But our theater became famous in 1957 when Jack Harris was here with Valley Forge Films filming The Blob over at Yellow Springs at their production studios and things. But he came here because he needed to do dailies. They were watching the dailies every day, and they were like, well, we need one more location. So they offered the price of $75 to film here for 3 days, which was insulting. They were like, $75? I mean, this is going to be a movie and everything. But that $75 has created this mystique, this history of people that want to come and see the movie that Steve McQueen fights the Blob. So we're here. So in 58, the movie came out. And as far, in 1978, they were celebrating the 20th anniversary when the theater, it did shut down for a bit and then it reopened. Some very enterprising young individuals wanted to keep the theater going. There was talk of it becoming a curtain warehouse. But they got it back up and running. They were doing live theater, they were doing movies. But when Phoenixville itself, the town, the steel mill closed in 1987, the entire town's industry, just everything left. All the businesses left, a lot of people left. So in 1996, the Association for the Colonial Theatre was created, and a group of individuals decided they were going to keep the theater, they were going to reopen the theater, get it back up and running. You couldn't walk in here without a hard hat, as I've been told the first couple of years, until they actually got the theater open in 1999. And they started, their first movie was Run Lola Run, which is fitting because it's about a woman who has to keep waking herself back up and keep trying again and again until she gets it right. So it's a very fitting tale and a very great first movie to show. And we only had a 35 millimeter film projector until 2009, where we had finally got a digital projector and we were able to do more films. But in 99, that first year, that summer of 2000, somebody said you should show The Blob. And they were like, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's show The Blob. And then that eventually became our Blob Fest, where every summer we would show The Blob, and we just celebrated our 25th year. So our history is kind of very strange and mysterious at times. There's a lot on our website, and we're actually trying to make it, more precise. Did we open in 1902? Was it really 1903? So there's little things like that about our history that make it fascinating to work here, because there's always somebody that comes in and says, I worked here as a kid. The concession stand used to be over there. And then they can tell us stories. But unfortunately, nobody seems to have pictures from that era. So we have to rely on old newspaper clippings that we get, or day bills that say we actually showed Dumbo, that we actually found in the attic. We found a box of day bills up in the attic, and we knew all the movies we showed for 2 years, from 41 to 42. So it's interesting, and our history is it's clouded at times, but as we are now, we try to keep our history moving forward and looking back as much as we can and recording as much as we can find. So sometime around 2009, we bought the building next door to the 1903 theater, which was a bank and a newspaper. And as I've been told, the room I'm sitting in used to be a coffee shop. The room behind us, which is our theater, our second theater, was a bowling alley. So the hodgepodge of pipes and framework and everything were very difficult. But by 2018, we had the building remodeled. It was set. It was to be 2 theaters. What makes the Colonial Theatre unique is that we really do have something for everybody. We have numerous live acts. We have an improv group that's here every month. We do have dance shows. We have concerts. We have cover bands, but we also have a lot of live acts. And we are trying to do more comedians, and we try to appeal to everybody in the area as much as we can. So if you really like to watch classic cinema, we do the movies. We do Casablanca every year. We try to spotlight Alfred Hitchcock. But as new movies go, we try to get the new movie that everybody really wants to see, but then we're also looking at what the smaller independent studios are releasing. So we really want to highlight cinema in general, but it's the arts overall is what we're reaching for. So, we have a Christmas show every year that involves a local dance group, and they put on this huge show. We rent out our theater space, our 1903 theater space, to the Firebird Theater, and they put on performances, children's performances for 2 times a year. So we really are embracing the arts themselves, and we are a community of people who like to sit around and talk about movies afterwards. Who you become friends with these people, like the 3rd or 4th movie, and then you're in town having drinks before you go to the movie. Another unique aspect of the Colonial is most of the residents in town have moved here because of the theater. It is our heartbeat to our community, and all the organizations around it thrive. Because we have a dance show of 300 kids, they're going to have to eat across the street, and we have the restaurants now to do that. We did not have that in 1999. There were no restaurants. There was, a soda fountain store, drugstore that couldn't believe it still exists. Does not exist to this day, but now we have numerous breweries, numerous restaurants up and down the street. We have record stores, we have gift shops, we have all kinds of great places for the community to actually spend some time here before they actually go to an event, before they go to a film. And a lot of our partners in the area have recognized that without us, there really is no Phoenixville. So it makes us unique in a lot of ways, that we are kind of like the driving force to keeping the town open. And as more and more people move here, they're discovering our great community treasure. But since the pandemic, and we had 4 virtual events, we've noticed that we are a little bit more now on a global scale. We are one of the top 5 destinations for horror films in the country, according to Box Office Pro. We were in the New York Times for Blobfest this year, so that was great to actually have the New York Times themselves here cover the event. So we're starting to realize that outside of our little area, we have people coming from Ottawa, Canada, Texas, Rhode Island. We had a patron come from England for a 24-hour horror-thon. So we have to realize that we're a little bit more than Phoenixville now. We're actually operating on a much larger scale. It creates an interesting aspect to the Colonial.
Be sure to tune in here to At the Movies every month for a behind-the-scenes look at one of our participating theaters, local film festivals, and more. Now, let's take a look at all of our friendly neighborhood theaters to see what kinds of programming they've got coming up this month. In June 2025 at the Boscov Theater at GoggleWorks Center for the Arts in Reading, PA. We've got a new independent film opening every week, along with some awesome classics back on the big screen. Kicking off the month, we've got David Cronenberg's latest body horror masterpiece, The Shrouds, from Sideshow, Janus Films, and Variance Films. The Shrouds will play daily from Friday, June 30th through Thursday, June 5th. Opening Friday, June 6th, we've got The Ballad of Wallace Island, a new comedy from Focus Features. The Ballad of Wallace Island plays daily from Friday, June 6th through Thursday, June 12th, with only one exception. For one day only on Saturday, June 7th, we'll continue our classic summer blockbuster series with 40th anniversary screenings of The Goonies from 1985. We'll be playing The Goonies all day with showtimes at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. We'll also have some special concessions tailored to this one-day event, so don't miss out. Opening Friday, June 13th, we've got Echo Valley, a brand new thriller from Apple and Variance Films, starring Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney. We're very excited to be part of a limited group of theaters playing this film, so don't miss out on your chance to see it on the big screen. Echo Valley plays daily from Friday, June 13th through Thursday, June 19th. Opening Friday, June 20th, we've got the new romance drama On Swift Horses from Sony Pictures Classics. On Swift Horses plays daily from Friday, June 20th through Thursday, June 26th. Also on Friday, June 20th, taking over the 7 p.m. showtime, we've got a very special one-night-only and free-to-attend screening of the documentary film Pardon Me. The screening is in collaboration with local organization Connections Work. While the screening is free to attend, make sure you RSVP on the GoggleWorks website to secure a seat, as the theater is filling up fast. Finally, closing out the month, we've got Gazer, a new mystery thriller from Metrograph Pictures and Variance Films. Gazer plays daily from Friday, June 27th
through Thursday, July 3rd, again with only one exception. For one day only on Sunday, June 29th, our classic summer blockbuster series strikes again with 20th anniversary screenings of Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds from 2005. We'll be playing War of the Worlds all day with showtimes at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Don't miss out on your chance to see this massive movie back on a massive screen. And that's June 2025 here at the Boscov Theater. You can always find our complete schedule of upcoming films and events and purchase tickets in advance for all of the films I just mentioned at GoggleWorks.org. We can't wait to see you this month at Reading's Home for Independent Film. In June 2025 at RC Theaters, Reading Movies 11 and IMAX in Reading, PA. They've got a number of films now playing, including Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Lilo and Stitch, The Last Rodeo, and Karate Kid Legends. Also releasing this month, they've got Ballerina, How to Train Your Dragon, Elio, 28 Years Later, Megan 2.0, F1, and of course Jurassic World Rebirth opens in early July. They've also got some special programming this month, including Finding Faith, Healed by Jesus, which will play on June 16th at 7 p.m. They've also got their summer movie program starting up this month, featuring special family-friendly programming on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. The series will run from June 17th through August 6th. Tickets are just $1, and films in June will include Despicable Me 4 on June 17th and 18th, Trolls Band Together on June 24th, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on June 25th. For more information, visit rctheaters.com/Summer Movies 2025. And of course, they've got ongoing promotions at the theater, including Theater Ears. Listen to movies in Spanish using the free Theater Ears app. Earbuds are available for purchase at the theater if needed. The My First Movie Experience program. Celebrate your little one's first big screen adventure with their My First Movie Experience commemorative ticket. Visit rctheaters.com/my-first-movie for more information and for tips on how to prepare for a first movie. And of course, sign up for RC Theaters' new and improved rewards program. For their complete schedule of showtimes and to purchase tickets in advance, visit rctheaters.com. For the complete schedule of upcoming films and events, and to purchase tickets in advance for the Colonial Theatre in Phoenixville, PA, visit thecolonialtheatre.com. In June 2025 at the Mahoning Drive-In Theatre in Lehighton, PA. On Sunday, June 1st, they've got Michael Mann's Thief from 1981. Then on Thursday, June 5th, the Thursday ThreadUp film series continues with Natural Born Killers. Friday and Saturday that week, June 6th and 7th, they've got the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Ultimate Fan Event with Joel Hodgson and Jonah Ray. On Sunday, June 8th, enjoy a special 100th anniversary screening of The Phantom of the Opera with live organ accompaniment. The Thursday ThreadUp film series continues on June 12th with a screening of Fight Club. On Friday, June 13th, show up for the Super Secret Kung Fu Spectacular, toting a triple feature of surprise films. That Saturday, June 14th, it's Classic Cruisers Night with a double feature of Grease and Grease 2. Classic cars get in free, and gates open at 4 p.m. for a special vendor market. On Sunday, June 15th, enjoy Sunday Essentials featuring Bonnie and Clyde from 1967. Then on Thursday, June 19th, partake in another installment of the Thursday ThreadUp film series, this time featuring Blood Diner. Friday and Saturday that week, experience the many faces of Batman. On Friday, June 20th, see a double feature of Batman the Movie from 1966 and Batman from 1989. Then on Saturday, June 21st, see a double feature of Batman Mask of the Phantasm from 1993 and The Dark Knight from 2008 on 35mm. Plus, gates open at 5 p.m. for a toy show market. Also, don't miss out on your chance for a photo op all weekend long with the 1989 Batmobile. On Sunday, June 22nd, see Weird Al in UHF from 1989. On Friday and Saturday, June 27th and 28th, the drive-in is taken over by Schlockorama 9. Friday, June 27th, enjoy a quadruple feature of The Seven Brothers of Dracula, Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, Adam Age Vampire, and Werewolves on Wheels. Then on Saturday, June 28th, enjoy a quadruple feature of The Devil's Reign, Satan's Cheerleaders, Piranha 2: The Spawning, and Bog. Finally, enjoy Sing Along Sunday on June 29th with a special screening of Little Shop of Horrors. Gates open at 5 p.m. for a pop culture market, plus an Audrey 2 photo op. For their complete schedule of upcoming films and events, and to purchase tickets in advance, visit mahoningdit.com. For the complete schedule of upcoming films and events, and to purchase tickets in advance for Shankweiler's Drive-In in Orefield, PA, visit shankweilers.com. For the complete schedule of upcoming films and events, and to purchase tickets in advance for the Emmaus Theatre in Emmaus, PA, visit emmaustheatre.com.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this month's episode of At the Movies. Get out there this month, support your local movie theaters, and experience some incredible new movies. Whether they're new releases or just new to you, the way they were meant to be experienced. With fresh popcorn, in a distraction-free environment, and on a massive silver screen. If you discovered this program through BCTV, whether you're watching it on bctv.org or on BCTV's live telecast, consider supporting them at bctv.org/support. BCTV is Berks County's local nonprofit community media organization that enables programs like this one to reach and inform more people in our community. Until next month, I'm Jon Jordan, and I hope to see you at the movies.
What's my favorite movie? It's very difficult to put that into words. Like I now we have Letterboxd, so you have to put 4 up. You know, it's different. It's difficult. It's moody. It can change. During the pandemic, I was asked that question on an interview, and they said, "What are your pandemic movies?" And I was like, "Oh, Ed Wood, Saturday Night Fever, and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan." And the interviewer was like, "Wow, those are all depressing." And I was like, "Yeah, but it makes me feel better about myself." It's always difficult because I have the two that are very difficult for me to differentiate. So it depends on the year, I guess. But Casablanca is by far, I think, my favorite film, followed very closely by The Empire Strikes Back. Which is very different, in its sense. But as Casablanca goes, I have seen it on the big screen numerous times. I had was fortunate to see it here at the Colonial on the big screen, but it was not the first time I ever saw it on the big screen. It was actually in Reading at the Carmike Cinema 8. They had a new theater. And three of the screens the weekend they opened were dedicated to repertory films. Wizard of Oz, Casablanca, and I believe Citizen Kane was the other one. And a friend of mine could not fathom why I would want to go see Casablanca. And afterwards he said, now I know why you wanted to see it. So to see it for him the first time that way, big, was one of the key factors to me realizing the power of seeing a movie in a theater big for the first time, or even to ever see it that big for the first time. So I've seen Casablanca in LA. I've seen it here at the Colonial numerous times, and it's actually become an annual screening now. My argument is there's always 200 people that come to see Casablanca, and what I love about it is the people who cry, the people who sing for Les Massés. It's those moments that it's more than just a movie. It's saying something, and it's funny that it's saying something then, and it's still saying something now. So that's probably why I think Casablanca is my all-time favorite film. It's tough because I love Star Wars a lot, and Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie. So it's very difficult. But yeah, Casablanca is probably my all-time favorite.